The Hamilton Ticats beat the Ottawa Redblacks 33-23 on Saturday at McMaster University. I'm here with the Spec Steve Milton. Steve, we had good Hank and better Dan.
Yeah, well said by you. That's perfectly said. Dan Lefevre tonight. You know, the crowd embraced him like he's one of them. He's one of them now. It's amazing. We could see it, and I should let people know this that the press box is basically inside the crowd. And by the middle of the third quarter, it was Danny. It was Danny, like a big warm hug. And of course they liked the fact the guy's hard nosed. This is a hard nosed crowd. It always has been. They like hard nosed football, and the guy just stuck his head in there. It was a Matt Dunnigan type of game for him.
In addition to Lefevre's strong day, and he had a good day throwing the football and running the football, he got a lot of help from C.J. Gable, who had over 160 all-purpose yards, but did really excellent work picking up the blitz and setting up things that came to fruition later in the game.
There was a play, Drew, and I spent a lot of time just now talking to C.J. about it, where he was on the left side of the ball, and the safety blitz, actually it might have been a halfback blitz, came on the right side. Remember, this is a shotgun snap, so that means the ball is going to be snapped. And in that time, after it snapped, C.J. Gable had to come to the right side to pick up a block, or Dan Lefevre would have been killed on the play because the guy was going 1,000 miles an hour, and he made the play. I don't know that I've ever seen a block quite like that one.
Another group of maligned players on this team is the offensive line. I thought that they did a very solid job as well, given how much change they've had over the first 4 games and how much abuse they've taken for their performance, particularly early on.
Yeah, I didn't like them actually in the early going because I thought Danny got a lot of those yards on his own. I really did. I thought there was a lot of fakes, inside dips, outside run, or outside fake and then inside dip. But they got stronger as the game got on. I wouldn't be surprised if we'll find out later that there were some adjustments made in the blocking technique because it was really pretty good. I'd say from the second quarter on. Now I don't see the films right now, and maybe the films will show something different. But that's certainly with the naked eye. I'm agreeing with you. I thought that they did a really good job. But I thought the 2 guys you just mentioned did an awful lot to help them out. The quarterback and the tailback.
We should talk a little bit about the defense as well. They have held this team together largely through the first 3 weeks. This was a little bit more bend but don't break. There were some long drives put together by Henry Burris, but they didn't get a whole lot off the scoreboard. They were on the field for a long time, but when it mattered late in the game, they were able to make some plays.
I thought they really were a different defense in the second half. I thought there were some tremendous adjustments there. Really, and now part of it is that one of their receivers went down. Johnson had been hurting them, but they really had trouble with Henry all night, and the guy's 6'5". You should be able to find him on the field. But again, I'm going to agree with you when it sounds like I'm not. I thought they made some tremendous adjustments, made some big hits. There was an interception. And if you haven't seen any of the game, watch the replay to see Craig Butler's interception, a tremendously athletic play. But I will say this, he could make that play, afford to make that play, because he had help back there to cover him. So he knew he could go for the ball. And there was another great play by Courtney Stephen, right about where we're standing here, who just missed the ball. And normally people might say, well, you shouldn't be going for the interception there, but that's what they want. They want aggressive D, and Orlando Steinhauer, the defensive coordinator, made a lot of, and Kent mentioned this in his scrum, made a lot of adjustments to the aggressive side in the second half. I thought, like you, there was a bit too much bend and don't break. Well, we've seen that before. You run up a lot of yards, and then every once in a while they beat you on that. I think if you're being aggressive more times than not, you'll make the plays. They won't.
Short week for the Ticats. Play here again on Thursday against Winnipeg. There was some relief in the locker room today getting off the schneid and getting their first win, but a lot of talk about trying to build on this to take the momentum from that and move it forward.
I think in a short week, now you don't have a quarterback problem. You're not thinking now. I mean, they had a quarterback problem last week. They didn't know. I mean, because it didn't work out the way they worked at the previous, so they don't have that this week. So I agree. I think relief, this would have been a worse loss than it was a good win. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Make sure you check out Monday's Spectator for a full game report. Reporting from McMaster University with the Spec Steve Milton, I'm Drew Edwards.